Welcome to the November energy update. I'm super excited to be sharing this update with you because it's like the whole new cycle that we're coming into, which is actually the end of an old cycle that we have been completing, I would say, for many of us over lifetimes. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Chloe Cousins. I'm an ascension facilitator and a planetary grid worker and founder of the Earth Star Guardians. So let's dive in straight away, because this update, I feel, is going to be really important in understanding what is closing out through the year of the snake. And the stronger that we can close out, the stronger we can make these completions, the more potent those new beginnings will be. So we are now in, for the next 2 to 3 months, a cycle of emergence. And that cycle of emergence is the new you that is emerging, and the new you and all the frequencies that you've been building within you that are part of that new you. This is what is going to be emerging out into more of a physical reality. And what I want to share with you today in this November update are some of the key themes that are involved around this emergence, and what you can do to support yourself in this process of moving from the old you into the new you, and through that new you, how your new reality will be formed from that. So, to explain all of this, I want to first of all talk about the year of the snake. This is where we are at right now, is in the year of the snake 2025. And the thing with a snake, when it sheds its skin, when it comes out of shedding the skin into a totally new version, so symbolizing deep, really deep, profound transformation on all levels, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, that shedding process where you actually see the new doesn't happen until right at the end. So this is really what's been happening for this whole year. And I would actually say really intensely this year, but probably the initiation of this massive change within your sense of self and your new reality that's birthing would have started around 2020. I've always called this decade the decade, the destiny decade. And I feel that 2025 is that pivot point from the internal, with 2026, the external starting to show for all that inner work that you've done. But a lot of those cycles are actually cycles that we are closing out over lifetimes. And we have these outer planets that have been moving into the new, gone back into the old. So they've gone from Pisces into Aries, and then Aries back into Pisces, and then from 2026 it will go back into and then staying in Aries, which is all the new beginnings. So we've been getting glimpses of those new beginnings this year. But with that year of the snake, the transformation, the majority of the transformation has been internal. We've not seen it. And that has been quite challenging because it's required a lot of internal trust and faith in trusting our own intuition, in trusting that things are changing, even if we can't see it, and even if things have been closing out and completing on an external, but yet the new beginnings have not yet been materialized, have not yet taken form. So this year of the snake, all of that transformation where you start to actually see it is right at the end. And that's where we are at right now. So I'm seeing that cycle, because I'm linking it in with the astrology as well, with the new beginnings, which really start to form next year between January, February, March and into April. I'm really seeing this as a cycle of emergence for the next 3 months. So in these 3 months, what is happening is that we're beginning this shedding phase. So the snake builds its internal new skin whilst the external skin is still there. So it can't really see what's going on inside, but all of the internal transformation is happening with a new skin that's forming within. Then there gets to a point where there's a liquid that forms between the old and the new, and it kind of clouds over the eyes, and the outer skin gets dull for the snake. And so that's very much like going into the void, where there's confusion because you can't really gain much clarity in that process. And what the snake does, the snake retreats. The snake goes into a cave, into sort of a hole underground, and retreats from the outer world. And whilst it's in that space, it will then rub itself up against some sort of hard object like a rock to break a bit of this outer skin. It then breaks that outer skin, and then for that completion to happen, in terms of for the snake to then be totally in the new, it has to then move forwards, and as it moves forwards, the old skin is left behind. Now, this is a really important point, because that moving forwards is very much the energy of next year, which one of the key signatures is the Wheel of Fortune. The reason I'm speaking about this right now is that I feel that energy of the Wheel of Fortune is already present right now in November. So with that Wheel of Fortune, there's a feel of expansion, there's a feel of moving forwards, but you're needing to move forwards in a way that is expansive, that you're trusting your intuition, and that you're taking action, you're taking steps into the unknown. So it's taking you out of your comfort zone to build on the outer level in your reality, to build into form what is reflective of all the internal work that you have done this year in 2025 and continue to do for these next 2 months. These next 2 months are literally mission critical, in that we are still closing out old programs, old ways of being, old ways of thinking. We're still bringing up from the subconscious patterning that cannot go forwards with us into the new. Because if you bring those subconscious patterns forwards into the new, it's going to dim those new beginnings. It's going to slow that Wheel of Fortune. it's going to hinder you in moving forward in a very powerful, intuitive way to build your new beginnings with your new sense of self and the visions and what it is you're wishing to see in your outer world that is a much truer reflection and mirror of everything that has been internally shifting and changing for you. So, especially in November, I feel that shedding is starting to occur for some of us. And I feel it's going to happen over these next 3 months. So it's like simultaneously there's going to be the shedding, there's going to be starting that movement forwards as we release the skin. And then by February, March, April of next year, there's going to be a big push to move forwards and to keep moving forwards. Because if you don't move forwards in this new way, the skin cannot shed. And I feel the breaking of that skin is going to be around the solstice in December, like the emergence of this new luminous you will start to emerge. So what's happening right now is like a simultaneous endings and beginnings, and mostly like the rest of this year, those beginnings were internal, like new frequencies that you've been activating and solidifying within you. It's like a quantum convergence, and the moment is like alchemical shifts moment to moment, where you are decoding and recoding all at the same time to keep on clearing, releasing and letting go, so those new frequencies can land, so that you can receive those insights, those downloads, those new codes. You may receive revelations. This is what's happening, I feel, mostly November and December, so that you can really get into that state where you're fully ready for that emergence point. So one of the key aspects of where we're still shifting is around the Venus codes. And those Venus codes will be very much highlighted over the full moon in Taurus, and as also coming through Venus at a galactic level because of 3i Atlas. So what is happening is that we are deepening into our sense of value, into our sense of self-worth and self-love, in preparation for the new, and especially in terms of how we value this new sense of self that is burning. Now, all of that is very, very important when it comes to manifestation and abundance, because abundance and money is very much linked to how we value ourselves. So when we're wanting to manifest the new visions, what it is we're wishing to see in our outer world, it's really important that we value that going forwards, because what you place value on what you focus on will magnify. And so what I feel this Taurus full moon is supporting us to do, along with Venus having this activation through 3i Atlas, is that it's highlighting old programming, like subconscious programming. It could be coming from childhood, from on our ancestral lineage. It could be coming from just society as a whole. But it's key patterning that cannot move forwards with us if we want to truly birth and bring through our new earth. Because there's still certain coding, there's certain aspects of our hologram that's still living in the old. And that's really what these next 2 months are going to be about. And especially November is going to be clearing and bringing to light themes around value, self-worth, abundance, so that we can keep building that internal skin, right, before the emergence, so that when we do emerge in the new, we're truly able to go forwards. Because my sense is, if you're still holding issues around self-love and self-worth and valuing yourself and the new self, you're going to struggle to move forwards, because the moving forwards, when the skin has been shed from the snake and the snake is emerging, it emerges through moving forwards and the old is left behind. But to be able to move forwards is going to take a certain amount of valuing yourself, valuing the new, trusting yourself, loving yourself enough to move forward. So this is why I feel November, the energetics of November around value and self-worth and self-love, which is very much sacral energy, right? Like these Venus codes are very much linked to the sacral, working with the sacral chakra. So that would definitely be one of my suggestions, is working with the sacral chakra, working with water, you know, like, and especially flowing water will support you. Working directly with the planet Venus will support you. Energetically tuning in and absorbing what you need to absorb, but also working at clearing any blockages within your sacral chakra, which means allowing those subconscious programmings to come up into your awareness and to decode them out of your energetic system. Now, one of the key ways that I work in this way, and I believe is probably one of the most potent ways that you can work when you're fully wanting to work with your own spiritual journey, when you're wanting to work with the ascension process, is to work with specific grid points. So literally, we are built up of grids, as is the planet and as is the universe. And where we get grid points, where these grid lines converge, is where we have sacred sites. And at these grid points where we have sacred sites, there is a convergence of all these ley lines of light, which amplify very, very specific codes. So when you immerse yourself, either by going there physically or connecting in energetically to key points on the grid, it's very, very powerful. In fact, I feel it's one of the most powerful ways of accelerating your own journey. So one of the grid points that works with the sacral chakra is, well, there's two actually I want to share with you. One is Machu Picchu. So Machu Picchu is the world chakra for the sacral. So when you connect into Machu Picchu, when you go there, or if you know how to energetically connect in to the energy of Machu Picchu and absorb that energy, because it's so pulsing, it's so powerful, it literally has the ability to restructure your own energetic system. So to clear, to decode, and to recode higher frequencies, especially all relating to your sacral chakra. And this is the reason why, and I think along with, because we've had 3i Atlas coming as close as it can do to Venus on the 3rd of November, this is why, to me, Venus codes in the sacral chakra are so important right now, and going forwards for you to birth what it is you're wishing to birth, you know, your highest dreams, your highest visions for next year, with that 1 year, like those really brand new beginnings. And so this is one of the reasons with the Earth Star Guardians, I will be doing a live grid transmission over the new moon to Machu Picchu. For two reasons. One is that with our combined light, we're focusing the light on there, and I think there's going to be an activation through Venus as well because of 3i Atlas that will occur. So we're supporting the grid point there to then ripple out new codes out into the collective. But also for each one of us individually, we're going to be connecting in to decode, to clear anything at that next level that needs to clear within our sacral chakra. So we're talking about creativity with the sacral chakra. We're talking about self-worth, self-love. We're talking about abundance. We're talking about play. We're talking about pleasure. We're talking about joy. These are all some of the frequencies that are involved with the sacral chakra, and it's going to support you to take it to a next level. It's going to upgrade you, and it's going to upgrade you by restructuring that chakra, like retemplating that chakra to a whole new level. And really, I think it's to retemplate your chakra at that level, it's going to take a grid point to do that, because of the amount of energy that emanates from these sacred sites. So for those of you that are in the Earth Star Guardians, that's the grid point. I don't think I've released it yet, so I'm letting you know that's what we're working with. So really excited about that. And for those of you that feel called to join the Earth Star Guardians, I'll put a link below for you, and you can join if that feels called. The other place that I feel is being activated very much that will support you is Cyprus, and that is specifically Paphos. And Paphos is where Aphrodite, who is like the incarnation of Venus, was birthed. And I have done a whole Crystal Merkaba grid journey to Paphos. It's actually called Venus Codes, and you will find that inside the Earth Star Guardians, because inside the Earth Star Guardians, not only do I do monthly live transmissions to a specific sacred site, you also have the whole library of all the different Crystal Merkaba grid journeys that I have done, and one of them is to Paphos. So I highly recommend, if that's calling to you, to also do that journey. If you're really feeling drawn to upgrade, take your sacral chakra to that next level, because it's through the sacral chakra that a lot of birthing occurs, right? And this is what we're literally doing. We are birthing our new reality, and it really literally solidifies next year. It's going to ignite next year. All the energetics are there for us, the astrology, the numerology. So I feel that anything we can do to support ourselves right now, just to complete and to upgrade anything that needs to be upgraded within our system, is going to support the birthing of these brand new beginnings that are coming through, that are going to start coming through next year. It's a very, very different energy next year because of that. And because it's that Wheel of Fortune, it's about moving forwards. But there is specific ways to move forwards, but I will be explaining that in another time, not for now. But definitely the grid points of Machu Picchu and Paphos would be so supportive for you at that level. We're really talking about Empress energies here, right? Really working on deepening with your Empress codes here to support you. So, that being said, what has come through is a way that I would like to support you in really gaining as much as you possibly can over the next 3 months, so that you can birth in a really, really strong and powerful way your new beginnings, where it is you want to move forwards. Now, what I do want to say is that for many of us, these are brand new soul assignments, brand new soul missions, brand new soul contracts. This is something that probably we have never manifested in our lifetime, across lifetimes on this planet. So this is really brand new beginning, like in a whole new sense. I'm not even talking in this lifetime. Have you got to this point? I'm actually talking across lifetimes. This is why the endings have been so big, because the new beginning is like literally a quantum leap for your soul, in that you've never got to that point before in your ascension journey. And so these next few months are critical to the birthing of your new mission. And so I've been guided from my galactic team, literally, to support anyone that feels guided to we're going to work together in community. So I'm going to hold space for you so it's going to be actually a 6-month container, but the first 3 months is where I'm really holding a very close container, where every week I'm going to be sharing transmissions like that 2 to 3 times a week. So I don't want to overwhelm you with every single day, but over the week, 2 to 3 transmissions, and also at times activations as well, as I feel called and guided for the group. And we're going to stay in community for the next 3 months. So for every single week, you're going to get 2 to 3 transmissions from me to support each one of us in moving forwards in this emergence point. I'm also going to be doing a whole transmission around the solstice as well, because my sense is that solstice point is literally the point of emergence. Whether people emerge at that point or not is a different matter, but energetically, that I feel is that absolute point of emergence. So I will be doing a whole ceremony and transmission and activation over the solstice point to support that emergence at that point. And then in January we're going to continue, because it's not like this happens over 24 hours, because this is an emergence of a whole new you, a whole new level of your soul growth that you have been working towards over lifetimes and have been done so much clearing, especially since 2020, but over lifetimes and the completions, you've been doing so many endings right now for this brand new beginning. So I want to support you November, especially over clearing around the sacral chakra and anything that comes up in that whole process. December, again, the completions and whatever comes for coming up to the solstice point of that emergence, and then throughout January, as you know, you're coming out and just starting just to move forwards a bit and supporting you in that moving forwards with that wheel of fortune, so that you don't get stuck and just, you know, stay still through fear. And so we're going to do that in community. So we've got each other to support, and I feel this is going to be a big, you know, it's a big thing, that, because we're connecting into all together. We have a shared goal, which is really important, and support each other as we move forwards, as we go into our own individual caves, as we start breaking open that old skin, and as we start to emerge. It's not necessarily a linear process. We'll be kind of going backwards and forwards with it, I feel, over the next 3 months. I'm also going to put some key modules and key activations of teachings that I've done over the last couple of years to also support you, so that you can deepen into that as well. So it's a 3-month container in terms of me weekly connecting in and sharing what's coming through. And then at the end, I think it finishes around the 21st of February. Then you've got another 3 months to fully integrate. So you can keep going back as often as you wish to help you integrate all of that. So if this is calling you, if you're just, you know when you know, right? It's just trusting that. Then I do have an early bird right now. So I'll put the link below with that early bird. I don't know how long that early bird was going to stay up for. You know, if it's suddenly you find that there's no early bird, that's because the early bird is gone. So if that is calling for you, the early bird's there. And when you join, you'll straight away go into the community there, where you will already find some activations. You'll find an introduction that I've done, as well as some key transmissions that I've done previously that I feel are really potent for you right now, so that you can get going with it all.